Good evening and a very warm welcome to you on this 18th March 2022. Thank you for tuning in to Hope TV News Watch. My name is Grace Wangoy and our sign language interpreter tonight is Boniface Moredi. Let's begin. Now, the National Youth Manifesto has been unveiled in Nairobi with just less than 5 months to the August general elections. The manifesto, which was developed with input from 1,500 young people in and out of the Kenyan institutions of higher learning, is the voice of the youth and is the basis of their engagement with political leaders before, during, and after the 2022 polls. As Kennedy Kimani now reports, the project is being implemented by a consortium led by the National Council of Churches of Kenya, NCCK, among other stakeholders.
With just less than 5 months to the August polls, young Kenyans who are the majority in the country have unveiled the National Youth Manifesto in Nairobi, with the primary goal of the manifesto being the voice of the young and forming the basis of the engagement with political leaders before, during, and after the August general elections.
Indeed, youth have declared nothing for us without us. I echo the sentiments and applaud the church for being proactive and not reactive.
The manifesto is comprised of 5 demands, which include education, entrepreneurship, engagement, employment, and empowerment. The National Youth Manifesto has been developed under Objective 4 of US Mulika Initiative, which is to build the capacity of the Kenyan citizenry, particularly the youth, to set the agenda for issue-based campaigns and to resist political incitement and elite manipulation.
It pains my heart to see the youth disrupting political rallies because they have been given money by opponents. It pains all of us to see the youth unleash violence on behalf of political leaders whose children are safely in their parochial homes. These are indeed stories that we must change in order for the wholesome youth, for a wholesome society to truly be realized.
The project, which is funded by US aid, is being implemented by a consortium led by the National Council of Churches of Kenya, among other stakeholders, with the vision of a united, peaceful, and secure country where the youth have all the opportunities they need to lead empowered, dignified, happy, healthy, and sustainable lives.
As the National Council of Churches of Kenya, we are mobilizing all the youth in this country, and this meeting is testament to that they are indeed able to change their circumstances and have their hope. So we are with you as you push the agenda of education, empowerment, employment, engagement, and entrepreneurship in this manifesto.
Kennedy Kimani, Hope TV News Watch, Nairobi.
Thank you, Kennedy, for that report. Now, President Uhuru Kenyatta has officiated the opening of the Mama Margaret Kenyatta Children's Hospital in Nairobi County's Korogosho slums. Speaking while officially opening the hospital, President Uhuru Kenyatta said the 4-story, 350-bed hospital will help decongest Kenyatta National Referral Hospital as well as other level 4 hospitals in the city. Among the services that will be offered by the new facility include outpatient, inpatient, maternity, special clinics, intensive care unit services, dialysis, mortuary, accident, and emergency services.
Hii ni kazi ambayo ilikuwa abandoned way back in the 90s. Just derelict buildings. Na kwa muda wa mwaka 1.5 nina furaha tele tukiwa hapa tena. Tukiwa sasa tunaifungua kirasmi na tukiwa tumeingia na tunaona wananchi wa sehemu hii wakitibiwa na wataalamu wetu ambao wako hapa. Tunawashukuru sana. Asanteni sana. Na hii ni kumaanisha ya kwamba tukijikakamua kama viongozi, tufanye kazi pamoja, twaweza kubadilisha maisha ya wananchi wetu. Hii ni hospitali ambaye kwa eneo hii ndio itakuwa referral hospital ya zile hospitali ndogo ndogo ambazo tumekuwa tukijenga katika sehemu mbalimbali. We have built now 19 and we are almost complete to building 24.
Now, MCAs who have resigned from their sponsoring political parties ahead of the August elections will not lose their seats. This is according to a ruling by High Court Judge Joel Ngugi, who on Friday ordered speakers of all county assemblies not to declare seats of ward representatives who switched political parties vacant following an application by the MCA of Kabazi Ward in Nakuru County, Peter Mbai, who sought to challenge such a move. The judge noted that Dr. Mbai had demonstrated that injury to the political rights of the citizens could occur if the conservatory orders stopping possible declaration of the seats of the affected MCAs are not granted. Now to some political stories. Deputy President William Ruto asked residents of Mutumo village in Gatundu, South Kiambu County, to implore President Uhuru Kenyatta to quietly proceed on retirement. The DP appealed to his boss, President Kenyatta, to remain neutral in the August general elections, adding that the president should allow Kenyans to make their democratic choice freely. Speaking in Gatondo, Kiambu County, where he held a series of Kenya Kwanza campaigns, Ruto promised to revive the Big Four agenda that was designed to create jobs once he assumes office in the August polls.
Mwambie vile vile ni ule Ruto ambaye wakati hakuna mtu alikuwa ako tayari kusaidia wewe, ni huyo Ruto alisimama na yeye. Tafadhali usimuumize. Tunaelewana jameni? Tunaelewana? Mutamufikishia hiyo habari? Mutamfikia hiyo habari? Mumwambie nimemuuliza, hata kama hataki kunisaidia, aniwachie hii mzee ya kitendawili. Mimi niko tayari kupambana na yeye. Yeye asimame kando, huyu kitendawili mzee nitamumalizia. Na nataka mjue, mimi hii safari tulifunga na nyinyi, tutamaliza pamoja na nyinyi, kwa sababu ahadi tuliweka tutawashughulikia na tutahakikisha kwamba mambo ya maendeleo inasonga mbele hata hapa nyumbani Gatundu na watu wa hapa Kiambu.
Now, the Democratic Party presidential candidate Justin Muturi has warned residents of Mount Kenya region against banking their political fortunes with either Azimio or Kenya Kwanza coalitions. Speaking at Marimanti, Tharaka Nithi County, where he met grassroots politicians allied to the Democratic Party, Muturi expressed worry over recent endorsement of Raila Odinga as the Azimio candidate by President Uhuru Kenyatta. According to him, if strong coalitions in the country had its strongholds elsewhere, the Mount Kenya region will suffer politically.
For us to even coalesce with anybody, there must be people with whom we are able to agree on matters of principle. You go with an open mind. You may even place your irreducible minimums, like I'm saying. For me, some of the irreducible ones are the fight against corruption. That's one of my irreducible minimums. So if anybody doesn't want to talk to me about that, they can go take their path, take a walk, and I take mine. We are in this game not because we want to please others. So we are not going to, and we are not going to plead with anybody. Certainly not. I am not one that is used to pleading. Yeah. Siwezi kwenda kuomba, hakuna mtu anaenda kuomba. Kama utaki kuja tu, my irreducible one is the fight against corruption. Kama utaki kuzungumza na mimi hayo, tembea. Mimi sina haja na wewe kwa sababu nchi hii iko kwa shida ile shida tuko nayo. Bei ya maisha imepanda juu. Principal cause is a high level of corruption in this country.
Now, Nairobi gubernatorial aspirant Richard Ngatia says he's ready to sort out the mess in Nairobi if elected the fourth governor. Speaking when he presented his nomination papers at the Jubilee Party headquarters, Ngatia said he is the best suited candidate to lead the city in reclaiming its glory. At the same time, the businessman cum politician promised to set up fire brigade stations near Gikomba to help when fires occur, adding that he would use his business acumen to steer the city into becoming a business and economic hub in the region.
Today, I must say that as the Secretary General of Jubilee, I am delighted to receive the papers of Bwana Richard Ngatia, who wants to vie for the position of the governor in the city of Nairobi. I have listened to what he has said, and knowing where we have come, where we are coming from as a people, as a country, as Nairobi dwellers, you can actually see the stark difference between the previous management that was available and what we are now putting on the table.
The reason for me that I've chosen Nairobi is to come and sort out the mess we have seen in Nairobi and to make sure that the noise we have had in the past will be normal. One is to make sure that businesses have a conducive environment to work in, to make sure that particularly Gikomba market is a place that we are going to sort out and make sure that we look at water and sanitation, which is a serious problem as we speak. The next 5 years, from the day we enter the office, we leave politics behind and we make sure that we are bringing business to politics. And this way, we shall be able to support the head of state, the 5th president of this country, Raila Amolo Odinga, because he needs us as the private sector.
Let's do one last story before we go for our first break. Now, the Umoja Summit Party has announced that they will be fielding a presidential candidate in the forthcoming general elections. Speaking in Nairobi, Party Secretary General Naomi Sidi said that as a party, they were looking forward to representing the marginalized in the society. Sidi noted that although they are willing to partner with like-minded parties, they will still field a presidential candidate. So far, the Umoja Summit Party is in partnership with Kadu Asili, PA, Shirikisho Party, among others.
Sisi tumewaambia tuna rais. Ni kwamba tumejipanga na tumejitayarisha. Yule atakuja kuzungumza na sisi juu ya kuungana, akuja akijua tuna rais. Kwa hiyo kwanza issue ya rais atoe kando. Akuja kuongea na sisi akijua tuna rais. Hatutaki muungano wa kutuambia tukujoin wewe kwa sababu nyingine. Tuko tayari kusimamisha candidates kila mahali ndani ya Kenya. Na tunapozungumza na wewe, tuko na magavana aspirants ambao hata hawajakuwa candidates. Tuko na nomination zetu ambazo tutarani wakati ukifika.
We are a national party that is all around the country. We have offices in the 47 counties, and all those offices were looked after for the last 2 years by the people on the ground. So this party is not for a few people up here that you see here. No, this party is for the people of Kenya. The money that we are going to spend is going to come from the people of Kenya. We want to start changing the conversation in this country. We want political parties that will actually come to take care of the young people, to take care of the marginalized women, to take care of the marginalized young people and the disabled, to take care of the people that actually are part and parcel of this country but have not been represented or even recognized.
Let's go for a fast break and Hope TV News Watch will be back with more stories. Don't go away.
The Bible is unchanging and timeless, and its words are relevant for every generation. Join Dr. David Jeremiah each week on Turning Point as he delivers the unchanging Word of God to an ever-changing world. With his sincere, straightforward teaching style, David Jeremiah provides a rich study of Scripture from which you can find spiritual strength, encouragement, and guidance for today's world. Join Dr. Jeremiah every week on Turning Point, right here on this station.
Join us every Sunday for unlimited, uplifting, powerful worship. Only on Extended Worship.
Thank you for staying with us. Now, Coast Regional Commissioner John Ngatia has urged security personnel manning the KCSE exams in the region to be extra vigilant to avert any exam irregularities in the various schools they are manning. Speaking at Jomvu Sub-County in Mombasa, while supervising opening of the exam storage container and distributing of the KCSE materials, Ngatia urged the exam monitors to actively monitor the exam to maintain integrity of the exams. In the Coast region, a total of 53,190 candidates are sitting for KCSE exams in 586 centers across the 6 counties of the coast, that is Mombasa, Kwale, Lamu, Tana River, Taita Taveta, and Kilifi.
As a team, we want to ensure that we have no incident here in the region. Like we did with the KCP, it was well done. We are waiting for the results. There was no incident. We also want to ensure that in this one, there's no incident. And here people are not accused of anything. Private schools, there is competition, for this and that. But let it be healthy. Let it not be something that we do to make the process look like it's not a good thing. Let's not let the government down. This is an effort that has been ongoing from about 2016, and we can't drop the ball now. I'm sure if we did this, if we ensure that this integrity goes if we hit 10 years, nobody will doubt our exam anymore. We would have gotten used to integrity in the process. But when you drop the ball now, we will be forced to start again. What's the point? So I want to wish you well. If there is any challenge, let us know. Security officers, police officers, generally. Should you notice anything, don't compromise. Don't.
Now, still in matters exams, more than 40 students at Diboro Secondary School in Usonga were on Friday held to Siaya Police Station after they were found with cell phones that had examination leakages. Apart from the students, police also arrested the school principal, Kenya National Examinations Council supervisor, and 5 invigilators, 2 laboratory assistants, and a chemistry teacher. Confirming the arrests, Siaya Sub-County Police Commander Benedict Mwangangi said the students, together with examination officials and teachers, will record statements to aid investigations.
At least 100 families in Maimahiu, Naivasha sub-county of Nakuru County have protested delay compensation following the construction of the Standard Gauge Railway SGR and the Meter Gauge Railway MGR. The residents are accusing the National Lands Commission NLC and the Kenya Railways Corporation of failing to compensate them despite having title deeds of the lands that were hived off to implement the project.
Hakuna kitu chochote ambao kimelipwa. Hata makaratasi ya kuonyesha nitalipwa kiasi gani hakuna. Tulikuwa na ngoja, tumeenda kwa chifu mara mbili huku Maimahiu, na hii watu ya Nairobi wakisema ati watahesabu vitu yetu yote. Tukifika huko hakuna kitu kinafanyika.
The residents say the meetings between them and government officers over the issues at hand have not bore any fruit, leading to their continued suffering, and wants the president to intervene.
Sasa tumeenda mpaka kwa wakubwa wote wana
Sorry for that mix-up. The story you're supposed to be running is that of Siaya. Let's do that again. More than 40 students at Diboro Secondary School in Usonga on Friday hauled to Siaya Police Station after they were found with cell phones that had examination leakages. Apart from the students, police also arrested the school principal, Kenya National Examination Council supervisor, and 5 invigilators, 2 laboratory assistants, and a chemistry teacher. Confirming the arrests, Siaya Sub-County Police Commander Benedict Mwangangi said the students, together with examination officials and teachers, will record statements to aid in investigations.
The 2 students were found with 4 mobile phones. Upon scrutiny, it was found that there was some leakage, exam leakage of those phones. That is chemistry practicals for today. And yesterday's Swahili paper 2.
The NEC, Examination Council, and the Ministry of Education were able to dig in and arrest the situation by bringing those students on board, the invigilators, the supervisor, the center manager. Right now, as I'm talking, all of them are under police custody, recording statements, and helping the department, the CID department, to find the source of this examination leakage. This has not been experienced or noted anywhere in another center, so I can assure the public and the stakeholders that the examination is intact and it is being done very well according to atmosphere, and we expect there's no spread of that incident that we witnessed today.
Now, the National Land Commission, NLC, and Kenya Railways are on the spot for failing to compensate close to 100 families affected by the standard gauge railway and the meter gauge railway in Maimahio, Naivasha. 4 years after the first group was displaced by the SGR, they're yet to get compensation, even as work on the 28 kilometers MGR extension from Maimahio to Longonot town comes to an end.
At least 100 families in Maimahio, Naivasha sub-county of Nakuru County have protested delay compensation following the construction of the standard gauge railway SGR and the meter gauge railway MGR. The residents are accusing the National Lands Commission NLC and the Kenya Railways Corporation of failing to compensate them despite having title deeds of the lands that were hived off to implement the project.
Hakuna kitu chochote ambao kimelipwa. Hata makaratasi ya kuonyesha nitalipwa kiasi gani hakuna. Tulikuwa na ngoja, tumeenda kwa chifu mara 2 huko Maimahio, na hii watu ya Nairobi wakisema ati watahesabu vitu yetu yote. Tukifika huko hakuna kitu kinafanyika.
The residents say the meetings between them and government officers over the issues at hand have not bore any fruit, leading to their continued suffering and wants the president to intervene.
Sasa tumeenda mpaka kwa wakubwa wote, wanasema watatulipa. Lakini mambo imegonga mawe. Sasa ndio tumeona hii maneno mpaka president atusaidie, na tunaomba atusaidie, kwa maana ni kitu tumeendea mpaka tumechoka.
Nitaondoka niende wapi? Pesa sina, hakuna kitu chochote sina. Mimi naomba kama president yetu aingilie kati, ndio tulipwe, tuone vile tutaendelea. Tuko na watoto, tutawafanyia nini? Tutalima wapi? Na mashamba imeenda. Sasa tumewachwa hapa katikati. Sisi kwingine tutakuja tuambiwe hapa katikati tuondoke. Tutafanya nini?
Senior officers from the National Land Commission blamed the delay in payment to lack of legal ownership of documents, double allocation, and family feuds. Deacon Sulvanda, Hope TV News Watch.
Thank you, Dickens, for that report. Now, Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka has welcomed Wajir gubernatorial aspirant Sliat Abdullahi to the party. The move to allow Abdullahi to the party's flag bearer in the Wajir gubernatorial race seems like a deliberate move by Wiper to show itself as a national party contending in the coming August polls.
And I may decide that the party that I'm going to vie on in August is Wiper. So that's one major decision. Yeah. Okay? So I am here to make tremendous impact. I'm a CEO of 15 years. I train in healthcare. I train in public health. People know my competence in the private sector. I want to bring the competence from the private sector to manage Wajir's affairs. When you're given 9 billion for a population of less than 1 million and you don't get it right, makosa ni yetu. I want to fix this incompetence and this massive malfeasance that have occurred in the last 10 years.
Mimi nakutakia kila laheri. Huyu ni mtu mkakamavu. If you are looking for a senior Kenyan in the diaspora, mwenye sifa nzuri ni huyu bwana. So you can't, kama sio maneno ya negotiated democracy, ya no this time. Na naomba mnisaidie wakati mwingine. Wakamba wanasumbuana. Tungetuita wazee zingine lakini Wakamba hataki. So this time round mnajua Digodia, Ajuran, Gaden. Na Ogaden. Yes. Yaani mtu kila clan. Kwa nini msifikirie kama Wajia? Mkifanya hivyo Mungu atawasaidia sana.
From Wajir, we now move to Nyandarua County, where Governor Francis Kimemia has challenged the Ministry of Education to allocate funds for early childhood development and education ECDE program as a way of empowering counties to deliver on the mandate. Kimemia said capitation for the ECDE was crucial to ensure the children were given a strong foundation for their education. As Tess Njenga now reports, Kimemia also emphasized the need to ring-fence monies meant for vocational training centers so that they are not lost in county funds.
The Ministry of Education has been urged to allocate funds for early childhood development and education program as a way of empowering counties to deliver on their mandate. Nyandarua County Governor Francis Kimemia, who hosted the Senate Committee on Education to discuss issues surrounding ECDE and Vocational Training College, also noted the need to separate monies meant for vocational training centers so that they are not lost in county funds.
And we appreciate that there is already a bill being prepared by the Senate to make sure that the management for VCTs are not lost. Both the national focus now should be on supporting the VCTs and linking them with industries, with the universities, with the people, and so that they can respond to the socio-economic challenges of each county. And that's a major challenge that we have agreed today, that we need to link our industry, our polytechnics, our VCTs.
The committee's chairperson, Dr. Alice Milgo, noted that counties that failed to adhere to ECDE schemes of service will have to relinquish their function back to the national government.
We are encouraging Nyandarua County that are now very busy implementing the scheme of service for ECDE teachers. And as we are encouraging Nyandarua County, we also encourage all other counties to ensure that teachers under ECDE are remunerated based on the new scheme of service, so that they are motivated to be able to undertake the teaching. Otherwise, this committee of the Senate Education Committee has already made 2 bills that will speak to this ECDE bill that was ascended to by His Excellency the President in April 2021.
Senator Dr. Getrive called on all county governments to have an advisory committee on issues of disabilities to inform the executive on the gaps that existed in training, employment, and promotion of persons with disability.
There's need for all county governments to ensure that they have an advisory body for PWDs, which is also constituted or composed of persons with disabilities, so that they can inform the executive on the lacuna there is and the lacuna that needs to be filled, because most county governments are not doing much about issues of disability.
Dr. Agnes Zani, who is also a member of the committee, noted that a policy to cover for education of children between 0 and 4 years as a category was vital for a stronger education sector.
Now, in most developed countries, the key category of education emphasis are the young children. When you get it right at that time, you've got it right forever.
For Hope TV News Watch, I'm Tess Njenga.
Thank you, Tess, for that report. Now let's move to our feature of the week. Now, probably, as is the custom in many universities in the country, celebrating culture has been important in many universities. Our very own Faith Imani Mugo had the opportunity to visit Africa International University in Nairobi for their annual cultural exhibition. The activity is often celebrated in a more unique way, given that the students from the university are drawn from different continents across the world, such as Asia, the United States, and Europe, with every academic year having over 30 nationalities represented.
Have you ever wondered why people behave the way they do? Well, culture throughout generations has defined many interactions, cutting across workplaces, schools, mission fields, and even business world. Unlike past years' changes in human psyche, social behavior and technological adoption are remarkably visible.
Technology has really changed the way we live, because you may find even grandchildren visiting the grandparents. But while they are there, instead of the stories that they used to hear, these grandchildren are very busy with their phones and all that. So really there are ways that globalization has changed. And of course, for the good, there are positive things, but also there are negative things. So all the emerging trends in terms of our culture are not acceptable. Not everything is acceptable.
Africa International University at the heart of Nairobi is a good representation of multicultural view. We got a chance to join in during the annual cultural event.
This is a season once in a year that we pause from our many activities to basically celebrate our diversities and just be able to showcase what is our culture, how we dress, the kind of food we eat, and the kind of performances and different things that we value from our communities.
It has been happening, getting lively and getting more interesting by every year as things change and also as the event grows. This year, our focus has been embracing our cultural diversity and embracing the emerging cultural trends. Well, that has been a key highlight for me personally, since we've been able to see the gaps in cultures and also the changes or the ways in which cultures have adjusted to realign and to continue surviving as communities while having their human experiences.
Just along with all the questions we've been asking people and getting to know others both on campus or in our church or elsewhere, to just realize that, you know, you see somebody in China and they tell you they're from a country, but you actually have no idea what that means and what their experience is like, because often it's very different, especially from my own experience. So I enjoyed the fact that Culture Week gave an opportunity to, just to see through a lot of the skits what it's like in a village when somebody gets married, or when they're trying to settle some issues, or the way that people like to dance and what that means in a lot of those cultures.
The display of different people and traditions from many other countries and cultures were noticeable and celebrated with many traditional African dishes, most of them plant-based with other native crops. However, appreciation and defense of culture does not imply blind tolerance to all aspects of all cultures.
A few communities displayed the marriage ceremony, and within the traditional ways, marriage was organized by parents, and sometimes it was not even organized. In some communities, the young man will identify the lady, and actually they'll elope with that lady, and then emerge later with the elders in the lady's home. So those are, traditional way. But nowadays, you see, marriages are organized through Facebook, through the social media. Somebody you have never known, you just keep on dating, and then you organize for a wedding without even meeting. Those are now emerging things that, are not within the biblical. Because we are also looking at the cultures vis-a-vis the biblical ways of doing things. Because the Bible is very clear on how we should do things.
With the emerging cultural trends, as many people are educated, most people are now able to examine and judge between the cultures, just in case there is a violation of human rights.
I remember the one performance, I believe it was Kalenjin. They were talking about how, in their community it's quite common to kill a goat and to take out the entrails and to use those to predict the future. Now, we know from the Bible that actually that's divination, that's not right. And I think that also helps to see where those cultures could be transformed by the gospel. What does it look like? I know many of those guys who are Kalenjin, one of them's a missionary. How we can think about taking what Jesus says and recognizing that, actually our biggest identity is not that we're Kalenjin or Kamba or Kikuyu or British or Chinese, which were all represented at the Culture Week. But our biggest identity is that we've been made one man in Christ.
The Kalenjin communities, those days, they didn't know how to farm. So they were actually depending on animals. So when there is famine and the animals die and there is nothing to eat, they'll actually raid their neighbors. They'll raid the Kisis, they'll raid the Maasais, and all the communities that are, within, the environment. But you see, things have changed. For example, most communities have actually learned how to farm and how to fend for their families. So that raiding is just the history. That is how it was. But the emerging things have now changed.
For missionaries who constitute a big percentage of the School of Theology at the Africa International University, developing understanding of other cultures or cultural awareness lets one have more meaningful interactions with those around them. One is able to build respect and empathy for other people and celebrating other people's differences as well as their similarities. This helps in easy reaching out of the gospel.
And as a Christian institution, we also try as much as possible to have this culture because we have very many missionaries within this institution. And they'll go out interacting with different communities. We also teach even translation studies. And you know that for us to translate a Bible, it can take 7 years for a missionary to stay with a community so that they learn from that community. So it has helped us in terms of interacting and also in terms of taking the gospel to different communities.
Yes, I think just learning about these different ways the community deals with things like death, with things like marriage, the importance of things like dance. I think that's something that really help us in thinking about how to serve Africans, not just here, but also going abroad in international churches and thinking about how our church community can reflect something of what they're used to.
A non-judgmental mindset lets one observe cultural differences without labeling them as good or bad, right or wrong. This doesn't mean that one has to be an expert in other cultures. It just means being willing to be open-minded and to ask questions to get more information, rather than having knee-jerk reactions to anything you don't agree with. Faith Imani Mugo for Hope TV Newswatch.
We don't know why, but Friday sees more smiles than any other weekday. Come on. We'd like to be part of the reasons you smile. Every Friday at 11:30 a.m. on Hope Junction, we play the latest jams plus your requests.
This is my God, my strength and song, be glorified.
If your favorite song tells your story better, let the whole world hear it.
Look to Jesus and receive whatever you may need. You will surely receive.
Hope TV is now available on GoTV channel 103, Zuku channel 873, Signet channel 817, and Star Times channel 026. Enjoy our uplifting content and family-friendly programming anytime. Hope TV, you look and live.
Every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Spotlight.
Do you feel like they are in a place where they can effect a Barack Obama moment?
When you hear the word of God and you hear Jesus is speaking,
Real talk on real issues.
You know, the Bible says faith without works is dead.
The truth of the gospel that will survive the time is not a health and wealth gospel.
When there is time to harmonize and bring one composite amendment.
With idealistic, thought-provoking guests.
So people come to be serviced, to be encouraged, to be empowered.
When the storm is over, you desire the closeness you have with God.
Hosted by Reverend Edward Furi.
Thank you for staying with us. Now, Auto Express Limited, in partnership with the Rubies, have launched Express Fit at selected Rubies fuel stations. This partnership represents a joint commitment to deliver efficient, high-quality, modern and trustworthy services to Kenyan motorists. Express Fit will become a key part of the Rubies Energy Kenya network by giving their customers a convenient option for the servicing and maintenance of their vehicles. Auto Express has leveraged its 60-plus years of experience in the automotive industry, ensuring Express Fit provides its customers with high-quality and trustworthy services. Express Fit will provide consumers the opportunity to purchase quality products from some of the best-known global brands in the automotive sector.
So today we are very proud to launch Express Fit, which is the collaboration between Auto Express and Rubies. And the target of that collaboration was to provide our customers with a full-fledged facility in order to give the opportunity to customers to do the maintenance of their car with a very highly professional brand, which is Auto Express. Together, by joining forces, we're giving the best for our customers in terms of maintenance of their car.
If you traditionally look at petrol stations, they used to have one bay, what they call a tire center, which was really in fact a puncture repair shop. And then the one bay for what we call lubricating the cars. But with today's demanding and sophisticated customer, they needed a little bit more than that. So we are what we call the car doctor model. We are what we call the preventive maintenance for a car. So when you drive your car, friction will wear out your tires, your brake pads, you'll have to change your filters and oil, wiper blades. So what we are talking about is quick replacement items in a convenient location and at market competitive pricing.
From business news, we now move to our sports news. KCB RFC will face varsity side Strathmore in an opening match of the Enterprise Cup, which commences this Saturday. The Bankers are in full gear to clinch a title they last won in 2017, and Captain Curtis Lilako admits that after missing out in the just concluded Kenya Cup, his side aims to finish the season with a trophy added to their cabinet. The Leos enter this round of 16 fully energized, having shifted all attention to its competition and the 7th circuit, which is set to begin in May. Recently crowned Kenya Cup 2021-2022 champions Cabras Sugar will take on second-tier division side Main Machine in Kakamega.
I think first of all expecting a very difficult game, a hard game. To have played them twice in a span maybe of a month, and the first game was very hard. I think the second game maybe we just came a bit on top. I know they're going to come harder. What I usually say about Strathmore, they're a very fit side, and you can see the instances where when they were kicking the ball far away, they all ran past us. So I'm expecting a hard game, both physically and even in terms of fitness.
The team is ready. Fortunately, we'll be missing all the players in the international setup, but yeah, we still have the manpower to go through it. I don't think there is pressure to win. We just have to get the rest of what is remaining of the season. Having lost what happened to be the main match of the season, we just have to get what is remaining of it, salvage the rest.
Now, Barcelona is through to the Europa League quarter-finals after a 2-1 win against Galatasaray in the second leg of round 16 on Thursday evening. Xavi's side started the game very poorly but fought back and scored 2 goals to advance into the last 8 on 2-1 aggregate, following a scoreless draw in the first leg. At the same time, fellow Spanish side Sevilla was knocked out of the competition by the English side West Ham after Ukraine forward Andriy Yarmolenko scored the decisive goal in the extra time. West Ham won 2-0 but advanced to the quarterfinals on 2-1 aggregate following a 1-0 defeat in the first leg. It is the first time West Ham has reached a European quarterfinal competition since 1981. And that sports news brings us to the end of this live broadcast. Many thanks for keeping me company. My name is Grace Ongoy, and our sign language interpreter tonight has been Boniface Mureithi. Have a restful weekend. Bye-bye.